Hi, I'm Sam Sorbo for the Accidental Homeschooler. Today we're going to talk about failing and why sometimes failing is good. Ooh. Does that go against what you've been ingrained with all your life from school? Yeah. So in school, we are pretty much taught never to fail, that failure is a bad thing and you should never fail. If you get that F on your test, all is lost. It's sort of there's a whole stigma that accompanies failure. And yet, if you ask Michael Jordan or anybody who has achieved great success in their lives, and ask them what was, in fact, I think Michael Jordan was asked this, and was asked what was the number one thing that made him successful, that gave him the ability to become so successful. And he said, I failed a lot. And so I just want to take a look at that briefly, because I know that when I'm coaching parents, and typically moms, I would say, I don't know that I get this much from the dads, but the moms, when I'm coaching them, a lot of moms who are brand new to homeschooling are so scared. And what they're really afraid of is that they will fail their child. Not that they will give their child an F, but that they personally will fail at their endeavor of teaching their child. And what is really the fear there? Is the child, like, when you had a baby, and I remember my toddler wouldn't potty train, and I was just tearing out my hair because I was done with the diapers. I wanted potty training to like happen and be done, and yay, that would be great, freedom. um, and instead I finally just started telling myself, by the time this child is 16, this child will be potty trained. So the idea is that there is a timeline, and the immediate is not the metric. Okay. So maybe that's part of it. But I think another part of it is that we somehow in our culture, we feel like there's no redemption for failure. And what we ought to do is value failure. In fact, I think I saw a really great TED Talk years ago by a gal who said that her dad would ask her every day, "Did you fail today?" And in that way, he actually created a whole culture around the idea that failing was a good thing, because in failure there are lessons. Imagine if you did everything perfectly the first time you did it. My goodness, life would be boring. Did you ever think about that? So consider that, and consider engendering your child with a sense of accomplishment, even in the failure. I've talked about this before. We talk about glows and grows. Why? Because there's always something you can glean from a performance or a job done, right? There's always something that you can glean that's a thumbs up. Good. That's a glow. Okay. And it's never the very best perfection that it can possibly, unless you're Nadia Comaneci at the Olympics, where she got perfect tens. It's never a perfect 10. So there's always a glow that's available to you. And so they come as a duo, one and one. There's a partnership. This you did well, and this can be improved. Fantastic. And so I urge you to reconsider and consider, if you're giving your children if you somehow are imparting to your children a fear of failure. You shouldn't do that. Just go ahead and say it. Don't do that. Well, how do you not do that? Embrace the failure. Teach them to embrace the failure. Learn to embrace failure yourself. You'll be a happier camper overall anyway. So just embrace it. And here's the clue. You're going to fail. At some point, you will fail. So be prepared, understand that there is failure, that's part of living life, that's part of the deal, and just embrace it. And in that way, I'm sure that you can get the job done. Your kids will be happier, you'll be happier. By the way, I love this quote. I'll end with this quote. Failure isn't the falling down. It's the staying down. Isn't that good? Failure isn't the falling down, it's the staying down. All right, that's it for me. Thanks so much for joining me, Accidental Homeschooler. Please share this with your friends. My mission is to encourage parents to take on the education of their children. It's not as hard as you think, and it's so much more rewarding than you ever dreamed. So keep tuning in. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.